Yo, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody weekend going for you? And hopefully it's not too wet. It's not raining out because over here it's raining. We got some rainfall going down here, and it is what it is, right? So welcome to the channel. My name is Jonathan. Go by KleinGuy Jon on my channel. Welcome to Sunday Funday Q&A, where we come here, chat, have a good laugh, get some information from one another. Today is Sunday, April 11th, 2021. It's 1:01 p.m. here in the Northeast Coast, here in New York, Staten Island, New York. Hopefully you guys, are having a pleasant weekend. I really do. I really hope everybody is. I'm having a pretty okay weekend. It was pretty busy. Not too busy. Pretty busy. Yo, what's up? Jason Reynolds and me Dibble is here. What's going on, Jay? What is up, dude? It's been a while. Been a good while. Jason Reynolds says, wish I could stay, but I'm about to leave, but I'll hang out for a minute. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Hey, listen, if you gotta you gotta do what you gotta do, but I appreciate you sticking by hanging out. By the way, before we get started, before I throw in the intro, if you have any questions and you want my attention on your question or comment or whatever in the chat, please type at the @ symbol at KleinGuy Jon. Okay, I'm gonna type it in like this. You gotta type it in exactly like this. It'll highlight orange, that little pop of color on my highlighted name, highlight orange or whatever you want to call it, on the font, will pop up with my name. It'll catch my eye so I can read what you have to say in the chat. Okay, so always remember that. When you're in a chat room, type in at KleinGuy Jon. Or if you're trying to get someone else's attention in the chat, type in their name at, for instance, Jason Reynolds. Okay, so Dibble says, weekend's not bad, been tidying the workshop. The place looked like a bomb had gone off in there. Oh man, like this. Yes, me Dibble did it exactly the way I mentioned it. I appreciate that. Me Dibbles, me Dibs. I call him Dibs. I think it sounds better to call you Dibs, bro. You don't mind if I call you Dibs? I've been calling you Dibs for a while since you've been here, but I appreciate it. But anyways, before we get started, we're gonna talk about a few things. I want to talk about a few things with you guys, and those of you who are watching the channel, if you're a potential client or customer, you're looking for an electrician or HVAC tech, stick around. You want to hear this, please. I pray you stick around. You want to hear this, or if you're just watching the playback, stay for it. Stay for the video because we got a lot to talk. I got a lot to talk about client and customer advice. More so, say, about what you as a customer should be doing for us if you want us to get the job done faster, quicker, and smarter. All right. But before we get to that, we're also going to be talking about grounding and bonding. The importance of grounding and bonding. I know some of you guys have been watching other videos on YouTube channels like Electrician U. Electrician U is an awesome dude. Dustin Stelzer from Electrician U. Big shout out. I love watching his videos. He's got some amazing shorts. Go check out his channel. He's got awesome way of, he's got a really short version, but a really good understanding of how he explains grounding and bonding. All right. And also check out Mike Holt at MikeHolt.com. You can go to his website. He's got so much information. Anything you have questions about the NEC, anything about electrical installations, you can check him out over online. You can even check him out on Instagram, as well as Dustin Stelzer from Electrician U. And also another big shout out to Electric Mags. I've been keeping track of what's been going on with her, and she's a union apprentice in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And you guys, if you haven't already, go check her out on Instagram. She's got amazing content. She's got some awesome advice for other apprentices like herself. And big shout out to her too. Congratulations for her to moving on to a different contractor, and I've been there before. I've been there many times in the past. It's a big leap, and at times you don't know how they operate because you're so used to working with the contractor you've been with. Shifting from one contractor to another and trying to figure out how they operate, because people, other contractors have different ways, and people you work with in other companies, they have different ways of doing things. So it's gonna be a bit of a rough transition, but eventually you'll start to understand. I'm just throwing this out there for her too, just a little bit, a little up on some confidence, and kind of relax, see how things go. Go in there and with what and just work with the guys. You're working with new guys, work with them, understand how they work, so that way you get a better understanding of everybody in the company, in the team. So that way there's no like animosity, there's no conflicts or anything like that. You know how they work, they know how you work, and you become one in the team, and you guys just work in harmony. So Electric Mags, please, also be safe out there. Always wear PPEs and your gloves, boots, safety boots, everything. Always work with power off. You know how that goes. But congratulations to you. And Jason Reynolds says, this sounds like it's going to be an excellent conversation. Really wish I could stay for it, but I will definitely watch it later. Gotta go. Awesome. Jason Reynolds, do what you gotta do, man. And you get you can come back and watch the playback, dude. I appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. Really do. You can call whatever you like. If I don't like, I will tell you, but dibs is fine. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Thank you, bro. I have some wiring to do. I have some sconce lights I need to put up. I have had wire hanging out of the walls for 10 years. They are safe, by the way. Well, if you want to make them safe and not exposed, just safe them off with some electrical tape or some wire nuts. That's my advice to you, buddy. If you have already, good job. And make sure you just tuck them in. Tuck them into the box. Put a blank cover on it. You'll be 100% safe then. That's how you'll know you're safe. But anyways, let me get to the intro. And we'll be back in a few seconds. Yo, and we're back. We're back. I'm back. We're back, but you get the idea. Again, if you're just joining in to the chat, my name is Jonathan. I run my channel, KleinGuy Jon. I'm an electrician for 8 years. HVAC tech, certified HVAC tech for 3.5 years. And basically, what this channel is entailing is on you, the apprentice, jumping in, want to get some advice, want to get some information, or if you're just a mechanic and you just kind of want to get a little bit of understanding of, you're trying to get to really understand your client and how to, be, you're a service tech and you're trying to get a little bit know-how of customer service. Well, you stopped at the right place, and and it just don't go by what I say. You can also check out other channels. Other tradesmen who are in a van driving around doing service calls, they got some pretty, there are other tradesmen and YouTube creators that have pretty good advice as well. But if you're here and you want to hear mine, that's fine. So sit tight, have some popcorn, knock out back a beer, whatever. I use insulated wiring blocks to make safe, nice, and switch it off. See, my man Dibs, look at that. He knows the procedures of safety when it comes to electrical. I like that. All right, so today we are going to talk about, Well, let me just actually switch over to chat here. There we go. We're going to be talking about customer service. I actually want to talk about that. Before actually we talk about that, what am I saying? Before we talk about that, we're going to talk about a little bit about grounding and bonding. That's what I really want to talk about. The safeties and the procedures of, and the know-how of it. And a bit of an understanding of those of you who are, apprentices coming in. You want to get a little more information. You're not understanding grounding and bonding, right? So it's grounding and bonding for one is very important when we're doing electrical installations. Okay, especially when it comes to either residential or commercial. There is some confusion because I have been confused many times. I'm probably still slightly a bit more confused. I've got a better understanding of it now. But if I am passing some, if I skipped anything about it, let me know. You can leave it in the chat or you can leave it in the comment section down below. I don't mind the corrections, so please forgive me if there's some parts that I miss or you don't understand. So basically, grounding and bonding means you're basically tying everything, all enclosures, anything that's metallic in an electrical installation, tying it all to an electrical system and bringing it to one spot and one spot only, to the earth. At times we call the grounding conductor an earth conductor, or in Europe they call it the PE, protective earth conductor. It's very important. Now, a lot of misconceptions have gone where, for years, and I've stepped in. I've been in the field when I speak to guys who've been in the field for years, like I'm saying, like 15, 20, 30 years experience, and they had this. They still stick with the knowing of that grounding. Electrons are trying to find the least. The purpose of the ground is the least. Trying to find the least ground. See what I mean? It's all screwy up here now. So they grew. They know in the industry they've been taught that grounding is finding the least path of resistance. Electrons are finding the least path of resistance to the earth. No, that's not the case anymore. Maybe some of you are sitting down right now and saying, "What are you talking about? You don't know what?" Like, okay, let me slow you down for a sec. Give me a moment to explain before you start, strangling me on this. All right. So it has been proven, and oh my goodness, why does this happen? I sent a notification. I don't think certain people. Oh wait, never mind. That's actually Amazon. I thought it was my brother because he lives nearby. Okay, my PS4 just turned on. Okay, time to turn you off, buddy. Whoa, I am so sorry about that, guys. 2 interruptions. Doorbell, PS4 turning on. I don't know why that is. That was so weird. I turned off the TV and it just came on. That was weird. Grounding is called earthing in the UK, in case you come across it. That is correct. That's why I said in Europe they call it the PE, protective earth conductor. So thank you for that, Dibs. What was I left with? Not a Sparky. So they grew, as I was saying, electricians in the field have grown to understand that, believing that electrons, purpose of ground is that, voltage is trying to find least path of resistance to the earth, to the earth by grounding. No, it's not the case. It's been proven that doing so can cause a voltage gradient. And what a voltage gradient does is that if electrons go straight to earth, if a hot wire hits an enclosure and in the installation you somehow just you bond everything, but you tie you bond from the neutral in the panel down to the earth, the voltage will go to the earth and you can cause a voltage gradient, potentially killing someone, potentially killing you if you were to be nearby something metallic by the service or by the panel. So it's been proven that that's what happens. That's what's the cause of it. And people believe that's clearing a fault. No. You clear a fault by having an effective ground fault current path. Okay, um, meaning, I mean, I can show you guys pictures. I'm really not. So forgive me, I'm not good explaining to it. So if I miss anything, like I said, let me know. Oh, my mom's here. Hey, mom. So what I mean by an effective ground fault current path is that you're bringing from the service before or after. Let's say you're bringing from the service weatherhead. Let's talk residential. You're coming from the weatherhead. You're bringing it down to the meter can. You are bonding. You're putting a grounding electroconductor to the earth, bringing your grounding electroconductor to and bonding to the neutral in the meter can. Then from there, you're bonding to your, if I'm getting this right, oh gosh, because I'm really terrible at explaining things. I'm so sorry. Um, let's see here. Actually, let me show you a picture. That way, you guys have like a clear understanding. Because if I explain it, then you're gonna be like, "What? What do you mean?" Okay, so let's type it. I should have actually got it ready. So forgive me on that. I'm terrible. Okay. So we're gonna type in. Oh goodness gracious! Why is wrong with this computer? You're brand new. Okay. So let's look at an example here, and I would love to show you guys. And this is from actually one of Mike Holt's grounding and bonding theory books, or electrical theory, and it's one of his grounding and bonding. I'm trying to find a good example for it. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Okay. Perfect example is right here. And I'm going to blow this picture up so you guys can actually see from... Oh, boy. Really? It takes me to a website, and it's like, all over the place, continues the site. Yes, I don't want it. What the heck? All these pop-ups. I hate that. Okay. All I'm trying to do is just get this picture here so I can zoom in better on it. And it keeps sending me to the same website. I'm not trying to get to the website. And it's just, you know what? We're going to go to my Colt website. I'm going to try that. I'm sorry if I'm taking so long. My computer is acting a little screwy too, because it's just, I don't know, it's just doing stuff here that it's not supposed to be doing, and I'm trying to clean that up. No, we got graphic of the day. Okay. Let's see if I can find something here that maybe will explain better. Because if, like I said, if I just explain it, you guys will just get confused. Especially you new apprentices, you go get confused about grounding. Because I know one apprentice, one beginner who's getting a little lost about grounding and bonding. I'm hoping he's watching this. I don't know if I send him the link to the channel. So let's see if we can find a good picture. And okay, so again, I'm gonna explain the purpose of grounding. Like I said before. Wait, what is this? Big grounding systems for a house. Yeah, I just, it's funny. I just had the picture and it's not here now. Weird. Pictures. I just had it. Where'd it go? That's not a good example. It's not giving me. Okay, let's try that. It's giving me, what the heck is all this? It's giving me like a bunch of grounding and like grass and stuff. Like, what the heck? No, grounding and bonding, fool. Stupid technology. Stupid dog. No, I was kidding. Okay, so what I meant by voltage gradient, right? Here's an example. I'm gonna view image here, make it a little larger. Okay, so and I know I hope I don't get like in trouble for this, but I like to explain things. I like to show pictures so that way everybody has a great understanding of what grounding and bonding means. Um, let's do this. Boom. Okay, so here we are. Here's a diagram of what I meant by electrons going to the earth and causing voltage gradient. So this is the danger. Earth grounding does not remove dangerous touch voltage. So you got this guy here who's the pole doesn't have an equipment grounding conductor. So what do? They ran a ground rod and they put a grounding electroconductor and brought it into the pole. The guy here is working on it, and you see that now he's got a ground fault. He's touching the metal, and it's going through his arm, through his heart, and his knees touching ground. Boom, right there. And also, the electrons are going into the ground itself, which causes a voltage gradient. So he's got 90 volts touching the metal, 90 volts touching the ground, and that's it. He's done. You see the little dog saying, hey fella, how about running a bonding conductor to that metal pole? And the earth will not carry sufficient fault current to clear a line to case fault. So you see the fault current returning to its power source. So basically, what you want to do when you're grounding bond, the purpose of grounding bonds is that you want to get all the electrons back to the source. And what I mean back to the source, I mean like, let's say you got a transformer, right? You got a transformer. You bond the transformer. You do a proper bonding, grounding and bonding to the transformer. What the electrons are trying to do is go back to the source. It's not trying to go to the earth. It's a big misconception, okay? I'm just going to say it like it is. It's not going back to the earth because I've had numerous conversations with guys in the field. And not only I'm learning this from my cult, I'm learning it from like other, websites. I'm learning also from the nfpa.org website. They even explain it too. They have a section where if you don't understand certain things about grounding and bonding or anything about electrical, they have articles where they explain it to you, and it explained exactly how you'll see a photo of like this from Mike Holt. Mike Holt is also he consults with the NEC. He helps them, he helps give like comments about code changes and stuff. And he's really involved with the NFPA. He knows guys who are in the code panel. So this is one of his illustrations. This is a great illustration. It says ground rods will not clear ground fault, and they do not provide lightning protection for outside wiring. Why are they sometimes installed? Somebody started this strange practice, and others just keep blindly following. So if let's say you go outside, if you see, this is a perfect example of a picture. You can even see outside, like in street poles, like in my neighborhood, there's some community lights, street lights, pole lights that have this. They have a ground rod with a grounding electroconductor going into, into the pole, and it's actually dangerous. I mean, I guess it's fine, but it's not fine. It's a real big misconception that people, electricians believe that grounding is purpose for, finding least path of resistance for electrons to find the least path of resistance is going straight to the earth. No, you don't want that to happen. You don't ever want that to happen. Okay? So, oh wait, what happened to my arrow? There we go. So yeah, that's something. This is something you don't want to do. Okay? But let me explain it also further for you guys to also understand. I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. Okay? I'm really going to get to the nitty-gritty of these things, and we're going to really get ourselves immersed in grounding and bonding here. So this is just an example, all right? Well, let me go to the comments because you guys probably have some questions. You're like, whoa, what the heck? Dibble says, oh wait, hold on. Just FYI, grounding is called earthing in the UK in case you come across it. That's true. Yeah, no PS5, buddy. I can't afford a PS5. I still got the PS4. Mom says, I'm out doing things. I'm sorry I can't stay, but I will see you guys later. Love you. I love you too, Mom. Dable says, I would think if you used a more conductive material are the ground feed and non-conductive materials to insulate the fitting to let any short to find its way to ground. No, you don't want it to find its way to ground. Basically, when we ground to the earth, you're basically trying to help bring the electrons back to the source. And also, you're bleeding off like any extra how did he say it? Like you're bleeding off any like static electricity because if you have static electricity, you want to ground to eliminate that. So you want to bleed that off. You want to bleed off any like I um I can't remember. I think it was like any I forgot how he explained it actually. Electromagnetic well, not literally electromagnetic. I can't remember the word for the life of me. But let's I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on so that way you guys could see what I'm going to try to explain next. So, ooh. We don't want that. Oh, I got a perfect one right here. So here's a good example. Great example. So let's move on. So here's a great example of a service, right? So an affected ground fault current path to open overcurrent devices in an Article 100 definition. So if you go to the code book, you go to Article 100, you want to find the meaning of an affected ground fault current path. This is an example, and this is an illustration of it. So you got the transformer here at the disconnect to the left, equipment grounding conductor, EGC. So you got the ground, you come into the transformer. You got a delta Y phase transformer here. The overcurrent device opens to remove dangerous voltage. So you got your ground, you bond it to the XO terminal, which is also the neutral. You bond it to the neutral XO terminal. You continue with the ground, bond. You want to bond that 100 amp disconnect, and then bond it to your panel. So everything now is bonded. It's also bonded to the transformer disconnect as well. So you can see here, you get the transformer disconnect. You move on down, follow that green wire, goes into a bonding link or bonding strip, a bonding lug that's basically mounted into the enclosure. Then you got the SBJ, which is the system bonding jumper, going into the XO terminal of the transformer, which is also the neutral. So you got, let's say, what is this, 480 coming in here? Let's just say this is 480 volts coming in, and you're stepping down to 208. So now you got 208Y coming out, 208 120, 408 277 coming in to this delta phase. Transformers over to, steps down to 208 volts, 120. You got a neutral to your neutral bar in the 100 amp disconnect. The ground also, you got a system supply bonding jumper. So follow that green. Boom, right? Oops. Keep clicking on that. Then you got it to your panel. What happens when you get a ground fault? This happens. Electrons going through one of the phases. Boom, 600 amps. Boom. Pops. What happens? The electrons go to the metal framing. See the arrow? Follow that green arrow. It's going through the bonding, the grounding kit, grounding terminals. Goes into the grounding terminal of the disconnect. Follows through. Goes into the bonding jumper or bonding kit, terminal here in the transformer. Goes back to the XO terminal. So the electrons are trying to find their way home back to the source. They don't go to Earth. The electrons do not go to the Earth. And yes, when I say bonding also, you're tying in this grounding conductor. Now this is the equipment grounding conductor, EGC, from the 100 amp disconnect to the panel. Goes to the supply side bonding jumper from the transformer to the disconnect. That's the supply side. You got the system bonding jumper inside the enclosure, which is the grounding terminal block is bonded, or the bonding jumper is bonded to the enclosure of the transformer going into the XO terminal. You want to bond that. You also want to bring a grounding electroconductor from the XO to a steel, the steel beam of the building, because you got 25 ohms or more, or yeah, 25 ohms to the ground. So it's basically in the foundation of the soil and the earth. So it says a fault current returns to the power supply. See how it says that there? The metal enclosure is energized until the fault clears at this point. So you see it's pointing out here, the metal enclosure is energized until the fault clears. So when the fault clears, it trips the breaker. Boom, that's it. Trips the breaker. No more voltage, but you still have some possible potential voltage. You want to shut off the disconnect or the breaker. Basically, that's how a breaker also senses a ground fault. All right, you have a fault, boom, electrons go through to the grounding terminal bus bar, to the bus bar with the disconnect, to the supply bonding jumper. Right here in the terminal, supply side bonding jumper goes directly to the XO. Okay, so that is an effective ground fault current path. Remember, electrons are going home. They're not going to Earth. I know it's hard. You're probably thinking, what does that mean? Oh, I still don't understand it. Okay. Here's the photo. And if you want to understand it more than the way I'm explaining, I know I'm explaining it terribly. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of going with what I do know, and I'm just trying to shorten it down. You don't want electrons to go to the ground because you'll cause a voltage gradient. If this grounding electrode conductor was not bonded to the steel, okay, let's go here. This right here, I don't know, you guys can't see the arrow, but as you can see, it says GEC. That's the grounding electrode conductor. It's a ground electrode conductor that's going, and it's bonded to the steel frame, the steel beam of the building. You need to do that. Always need to do that when you're grounding and bonding to a transformer, or if you have to go to well, basically, if you have a transformer, you have to bond it to the steel beam, right? You need to do that. If you didn't, and somehow the electrons weren't going back, to the source, or let's say this is system bonding jumper. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me go back. If the system bonding jumper was not terminated to this right here at this point where the neutral comes out, where it says N, right here. Hold on, let me just go back here. So you see the N, this white and black color-coded wire. Okay. If the green coming from the SBJ, the system bonding jumper, wasn't tied into the XO, what would happen? Electrons will go through to the metal frame, to the ground, the electrical, the equipment grounding conductor, to the disconnect, pass the disconnect to the system supply bonding jumper. It will not go to the XO. What will happen is it will go to the GEC to ground. I'm sorry. It'll go to the GEC. If this, hold on, let me get this right. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. It'll go through here, past the transformer into the equipment grounding conductor, and then from this disconnect, you would have this end here from the end after or before this transformer disconnect, the green wire here, that'll be electric grounding conductor going to the grounding rod. Now there's another photo. I'm gonna swap it out so you guys get a better understanding as well. What I mean, what's before this disconnect? Okay, basically before the disconnect, there's gonna be a grounding conductor. All right, electro grounding conductor going to the ground, to a ground electrode, or grounding rod electrode, as they call it. So let me go find a photo of that, so you guys can have better understanding. Like, oh, okay, oh, here we go, right here, perfect understanding. Wow, we only got a few minutes in because I really want to talk about customer service stuff, right? So we're gonna get to that in a second. So as you can see here, grounding electrode system, section Article 250, section 250.50. This is on the electrical bonding grounding jumpers. Well, I can't really zoom in. That's odd. I wonder why. But that's okay. So where you can see all these numbers, this is a little confusing. If you see right here on the number 5, that is the rod or pipe electrode. But what we're really focusing on right now is this rod. The grounding electrode, this is known as grounding electrode. If you are running a grounding electrode rod, a ground rod, to the earth, it has to be 6 feet below the earth, and you terminate it. Now, it looks here, you can see like that has a ground terminal bushing for the grounding electrode or grounding conductor. That's the, let's see here. What am I looking at here? Okay, so when I said, let's go back to when I said if you didn't put a system bonding jumper, right, to the XO, you didn't put a wire from the system bonding jumper to the XO terminal of the transformer. Well, what happened is the electrons will go into the system bonding jumper, past that, go back to the transformer disconnect, go straight through the metering can, your meter can, which is right here, and it'll go straight to the ground electrode. It will cause a voltage gradient. And if somebody was standing right here on the grass, touching that metal beam or something metallic outside the building, they will get shocked. They'll get killed. Or if somebody was standing next to the meter can, they will most likely get you by touching anything metal. So you want to have the system bonding jumper, or wire from the system bonding jumper tied to the XO terminal, bonded to the neutral of that, because then you have your neutral coming out of the XO as well. You want that tied in because you want the electrons to go. They're trying to go back to to the source. You're probably still confused. I was really confused when I said this, and I think, I don't know if I said it any better, but if I didn't, let me know. You can go also, if you want a better understanding, you can go to MikeHolt.com. He has a video. You can go to Mike Holt's YouTube page, YouTube channel. Check out Mike Holt, NEC, on YouTube. He has an hour, I bet it was about hour 45, hour 59 minutes, almost 2 hour explanation of grounding and bonding. It's an amazing to watch his videos. He explains it no better. Probably way better than me. Dill says, you're saying the current train of thought is feed the current back to neutral to return to the supply. Yes. Basically, I'm just showing an example. Like if you have a system, you have a transformer installed, you want, like let's say you just want from 480 to 208, 120, you basically want, okay, we need to supply power for a different electrical system. We need to bond that. It's going to be a separate system, separate feed. So where they're not using 277, 480, you're using, 480, 277, you're using 208, 120. You need to, obviously when you install that transformer, you need to bond it. You need to have a supply side bonding jumper tied into the XO terminal, which is also your neutral. You want to tie that in and bond everything because you don't want to have a ground fault where if you don't tie that into the XO, you're in trouble. It'll just pass through everything, pass through all the metal. Basically, the electrons will pass through anything that's bonded to metal framing. Someone's touching it, it'll go straight to ground. Through the metal, just be passing through them. People, you could cause an electric shock. If you're tying it in, if you don't bond it to the steel, if you're not bonding the steel, it'll go straight to ground. And if someone outside was touching a metal and standing on the earth and touching metal, or somehow standing next to the end of the terminated ground rod, then sayonara, you're gone. But there's a better explanation. I feel like I'm not explaining it better. But it's important that, this is why it's important for grounding and bonding. We need to tie off and have an effective ground, bond everything together. Especially when it comes to transformers, tie off to the XO terminal. Make sure you're also bonding from the metering can. You're bringing your ground. You got a ground rod. You're bringing that ground electroconductor to the metering can, bond it to the neutral, and then bond the metal from the neutral to the metering can. You're bonding everything from the metering can to your disconnect, or if it's the other way around, you got a disconnect to the meter to, you know, you want to bond everything and make sure it's you have your meter can bonded and not going directly to ground. You want the electrons to go back to the source, and yeah, that's basically what it is. Let me go back here for a second, and I want to see something. Oops, did I just? What did I just do? I think I messed up here. I lost the page. Let me see. Okay. All right, so like I said, let me know if you guys have a. But I gotta go. Food time. Oh, food time. Go ahead, bro. Have a good one. Um, Let me know if you guys want to. Let me know if I'm missing something because I feel like I am, and I haven't explained it any better. Just let me know. All right, and let me know in the comment section down below. I'll also provide a link. Also, check out the link in the description down below: MikeHolt.com, IEEE.com, and the NFPA.org. If I'm, hopefully, I did put that in there. It should be there. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me. My email is in the description box. I believe it's still in the, yes, it's in the description box down below at jonathanelectric1@gmail.com. And like I said, check out MikeHolt.com, NFPA.org, and the IEEE.org. Okay. Okay, next up, I want to talk about um, basically customer service. Customer service. We all go through, someone on the other line who needs to explain things to us better, or need to help us with something, or purchase something, or help us try to understand something, or sort something out, sort out a payment, sort out a fix, sort out any questions we may have. And they can come to you, and that's what customer service is. They come to you, they help you out any way they can, and provide you the answers that you need, or an explanation of why this, why that, or what is this and what is that. So what we're going to talk about is basically how you, the customer, can help me, the tradesman, the electrician, the HVAC tech, or the plumber. But mostly also in my field as an electrician, I've been doing service calls. I've done service calls many times. I've done it for almost about 3 years. Um, in the field for 8. Um, the thing about customer service is that you always come in and you always hear the saying also coming into the customer's home and saying the customer's always right. Anything they say, they're right. Sometimes it's not always true. Okay, and I'm sorry to break it down to you. You've always heard that saying all your life. It's been passed around. Hey, the customer's always right. Your boss tells you the customer's always right. But at some points, in some careers, not always true. And my example about it is, I want to give an example. For instance, oh wait, we got drop frames. Whoa, I did not know that, and I know why. Bam, we're gonna close that window. I have drop frames. Okay, okay, we read that comment already. So, what for me? For example, if I come home, I'm not come home. My goodness, what is going on with my phone? It's so weird. Uh-oh. Guys, let me know if you're losing service in any way. Okay, there we go. So, I'm working in the field, and whenever I come across whenever I come across a customer's home, I come to a home. I'm explaining this wrong, all right? I'm rambling. Let me start all over. So, whenever I get a service call, or I'm scheduled to go to a service call to someone's home, usually there's an explanation where my boss or someone in the service department will put in the email, and it says, well, you need to install, they want to install an outlet for a dryer. And usually, sometimes when you go to the client's home, they answer the door, politely tell them who you are, there's pleasantries, and then you let them know, hey, first things first. Your first things first you want to know is where's the issue? Where is the location of the dryer or washer? They take you there, and then all of a sudden they tell you, oh, the outlet's in the back. Well, we know that. The issue is now we have to move the appliance. That's the biggest issue, because usually what should be done whenever a customer calls you and says they want an outlet here, they want an outlet behind their dresser drawer, or they want an outlet behind their TV unit, or exterior closet. Usually, most of the time, when I go to a customer's home or client's home, I'm tasked with now moving the furniture or the appliance. Word of advice, and I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to sound lazy in any way. Okay, and it's not. This is from a professional standpoint, professional to a client. It's always good that the client moves the appliance. Now, I can understand if it's an elderly individual. That is understandable. Totally understandable, and I understand. I can get the appliance, I can move it, no problem. But if you are physically fit enough to move something, or have someone there to help you move it before the electrician comes to service that space, please do so, because it makes our job a lot easier. Just that way we have clearance of workspace. We have sufficient workspace. We can go in and out very quickly, and we have no problem of moving the furniture. Or if at or sometimes companies won't let their employers or their employees move their furniture out or back into position. They would usually have the client say, "Hey, when we're done, when our tech is done, we don't have them move the furniture or the appliance back due to liability issues. If we were to move it, something breaks without us knowing, we're at fault. So it's best that if the client moves it back, able to move it back themselves, and if it breaks, basically it will be on them. And I know it sounds really dumb, and it sounds like, oh, well, that's not cool. Well, look, it's just liability issues. But if we're careful enough, yes, we will take the time to move it back, carefully place it back with no issues at all, and make sure the equipment or the appliance works fine before we leave. It's just better this way. If you have a closet blocking an outlet, like an exterior closet blocking an outlet, you want it there to provide light to the, you want to have a plug-in LED lamp, please do so. Move the furniture out the way before we even arrive to your home. Another thing also is we need to shut off the power. Before we ever work on anything live, we shut it off. If you know where the electrical panel box is, try to be sure, hey, I have try to think and say, hey, I have an electrician coming over. They're going to work on this. They're going to put a new outlet, or they're going to work on something here that they need to utilize power to. You want to make sure wherever your electrical panel is located, you want to make sure you want to clear out any obstructions or anything that's in the way that we can, and nothing it makes it inaccessible. You want to make the electrical panel or the electrical closet accessible to our needs of work, to make it sufficient for us to work in. Okay, for instance, there are some apartments in New York City, especially Manhattan, older apartments that were built during like pre-World War buildings or World War II buildings, where they would have an electrical panel in an actual closet where they hang coats and so forth, or a pantry where they would have food in. The electrical panel will be up top, or a fuse box will be above the shelving, and there'll be like cans of food, or shoe boxes, or whatever that nature of storage you have. It's always best that you, as the client, think and say, hey, my electrical panel's in this closet or in this pantry. I'm going to move and clear everything out so he has access. It makes he'll have access to our panel, so if he has to do any work, he's able to do it without moving anything or breaking anything. Okay. Uh, Also, when it comes to your, like, for instance, condos, condominiums, or penthouses, some penthouses I've have worked in, finished penthouses, and we had to go for a service call. Sometimes the electrical room it would have its own closet in a hallway or corridor, like a second floor corridor. And what would happen is when I go into it, they will have like bicycles, personal items, just boxes, stacked boxes, and it's really a pain because if I have to shut off I have to shut off the power for this circuit for a light switch I'm working on, or an out or a receptacle outlet, or maybe I got to work on a dryer receptacle. Um, I kind of need the power off to work, and at times, if especially when it comes to penthouse high rises, a lot of the clients don't realize it. They're nearly not, or sometimes they're not too bright, and don't believe that it's not their job to move it. It's our job to move. Look, we're not movers. Let me just make that clear. We're not movers. We don't get paid to move your stuff. We get paid to come do a service where we're there to fix an issue and resolve it and to make you happy. Okay? Make the installation work, make it clean, make it neat, and make it comply with NEC code, okay, and city code for that matter, and make it safe. Okay, so please, word of advice as well when it comes to closets, much bigger closets with spaces at least 3 by 3 feet, or if you got a 10-foot big storage space with 10 foot by 5, and you have an electrical panel there. Always try to remember when you're storing things in an electrical room, in a closet with an electrical panel, always leave a sufficient, not great, but a sufficient amount of space. You don't want to leave anything metallic near electrical panel or disconnect that's in that closet. You don't want to leave anything that's blocking, that makes the panel accessible, because if something was to happen and someone needed to turn it off the breaker, you have to move everything out the way, and by then it'll catch fire. And I have a guest. Actually, it's my fiance. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me get the door. Be right back. Oh, I'm tripping. Okay. Okay. My goodness. What was I doing? Oh, what was I talking about? Oh, I'm back. What's going on? Oh, Conan Man, what's up, man? Conan Studio says, yo, John, how you doing, bud? I'm good. Yo, Jason, what you up to? Jason Reynolds just stepped out, by the way. But anyways, back to the conversation where, we don't. Oh, sorry. To like storage in an electrical room is not safe. You need access, so don't ever store anything in front of an electrical panel where we can't reach it. Um, and like I said, if something was to happen, like in your kitchen or your bedroom, and we needed to shut the power off, and we can't get to it, that becomes a problem. Then you have damaged property and equipment and so forth. So, um, always keep that in mind. Keep everything clear off the electrical closet or where the location of the electrical room is. All right. What else? So yeah, that's my advice for the customer. If we have to go anywhere to work, like say also jacuzzi, you have a built-in jacuzzi, and there's you don't you're not really sure how to access their a splice box or power or termination box. Usually these jacuzzis have a termination box where they have also a motor where we make the connections for the motor for power, and we need to get to that motor to troubleshoot it. If you're not too sure, you can always ask also, like, hey, the electrician, when he gets there, I'm not sure where it is, if we locate it, and if it's not much to move, certain things out the way, it's fine. Or we'll politely ask you, can you please have this moved so I can work, because we don't want to be liable for breaking anything that's in the way of that motor. Or if you have stuff stored in there that's delicate or expensive, we don't want to like damage it. Wait, Coleman says, you can take off your mask inside the house. What mask? You were wearing a mask?
Yeah, I just came from outside.
Oh, you just came from outside. Yeah, she just came back. She just probably forgot to take it off. So, yeah, that's my advice. I think I've been where service calls where customers don't move the appliance to get us to work in there, and usually it's also the job for like your service department. Where if you're working for a company and they have a service department head or manager or service department um, employee who's taking calls and letting the client know, that's their job to let them know ahead of time. Also, say, we'll send someone right away. Please, if you have anything obstructing where you need power, like for instance a receptacle outlet, or if there's a light switch or something below the light switch where we have to stand and work, let them know. We went before our technician or our electrician gets there. Please have anything that's obstructing where you want work done out of the way, so he can get there um, and start the installation or the troubleshooting. Also, electrical panel rooms. Make sure even let them know. Also, make sure that if you have an electrical panel in a closet or in a pantry, make sure you move everything out of the way so he can have access and shut power off. Um, so those of you who are watching, those of like you guys who are or are customers, and you're confused about why do you have to move the furniture when they're here and you're watching this video, as a professional, as a tradesman, and like a professional in this field, we are asking you to do that for us so we can go in and out of there quickly enough to get what you need done and you're happy with it. And so that's it. That's basically it. All right. Now I know this is like a 1 hour show and we're about to end in like 2 minutes. Okay. And some of you guys, obviously the chat's it's a little bit slow today on the chat, but that's okay. It's fine. Um, let me see here. So I hope that was useful. This stream, the advice that I've been given to you all was useful, helpful. And please be sure that if you decide to do any electrical work in your home on your own, it's best you call a contractor or or a licensed electrician, or someone who has an extensive amount of training in the electrical field, because we would know how to we know the procedures of working with electricity. We have to shut it off and then work on it. Don't get that mentality. I know some customers have that mentality where I come to their house and they don't want to move the furniture, or they don't want to move it because it's a pain for them to put it back to place. And they tell you, well, you're an electrician. You guys don't work live? Come on, I know electricians who work live. Okay, if that's the case, then you call that electrician and have them do it live. By any means necessary, we as electricians, I know there's some electricians out there who work live. They take a chance, they work live. It's best to work with power off, because you'll know for certain that there's no power there. There's nothing that's gonna shock you or electrocute you. You could work faster, work smarter, easier, faster, safer, and you can get the job done in a matter of from minutes to less than an hour. All right. Now, if it's a larger installation where you have to run conduit and stuff, that's a totally different story. get that you get an estimate. You go to the client's house before, get an estimate, then come back the next day to get it done with the right material and work safe. All right. Um, so a lot of customers, you guys out there, clients, customers, if you're calling an electrician and you tell them, hey, why can't you just work live? We never work live. Okay, it's dangerous no matter what the voltage is. I mean, if it's low voltage, that's one thing. But if it's a low voltage where if we accidentally short something and it's very sensitive equipment and it shorts out because of it, even if it's 24 volts to 12 volts and it shorts it out because it's very sensitive, we would rather shut the power off still so we won't destroy the equipment. Um, but like I said, we never work live. I never try. I never. I don't like working live. It's not that I'm afraid of it. I respect electricity. The problem is, the only thing is the electricity. Not a problem, but the only thing is electricity doesn't know that, and they won't respect you. Okay, so respect it. Understand safety procedures when proceeding to work on any electrical equipment or devices, or any type of electrical work in your house, and shut the power off before anything. Okay, confirm that it's off using the right tools, the right testing equipment, and once you confirm it, you can work on it. But if you're not properly trained, you could possibly damage property in your own home or cause a fire for that matter. So be very conscious. Be smart. Call electrical contractor and have them come down and do the work. Never try to force an electrician that works under you to work live. We simply won't do it. We don't want to damage property. And if you are an electrician and you have clients like that, show them a video. Tell them, listen, it's dangerous. I could potentially hurt myself, injure myself, or get myself killed. Or if I do something wrong while live, I could possibly damage property. So I don't want that. If they have computers, let them log off, save and log off anything off a computer so you can work on it safely. After you shut the power off, work on it, turn it back on. All right. So that's it, guys. We're finishing. It's already 2 minutes past. So I hope you guys learned something here. If you didn't, let me know. I'm sorry if I wasn't too extensive. I mean, I only have an hour on the stream. So let me know what you guys think of the stream. If you learned anything, if you didn't, if there's some things you do differently, let me know. I'd like to know and learn a little bit more. Maybe contribute some things that I learned into what you learned, and maybe we can learn from each other. And I want to appreciate every single one of you who are watching. I don't get a lot of views. Obviously, it doesn't show up. I mean, it's fine. I like doing videos like this. I like to keep in touch, be one-on-one with guys here in the chat, or one-on-one with you, or all of you for that matter. And always remember, wear your personal protective equipment. Okay, watch each other's back, help one another out. Work safe. Don't work live. And wear a mask, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys next time, all right? Also, like I said, go check out Electrician U, Dustin Stelzer from Electrician U. He does some great videos. If you want more information about electrical, commercial equipment, materials, and so forth, check out his channel. He's got an awesome channel. Check him out. Very extensive stuff that he explains there. And I hope to see you guys next week. All right, so my baby girl says bye to you all. Hey, you guys see her. All right, guys. So bye for now. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of Sunday. And get ready for the work week. Monday, work week. So time to hustle. Make that money. Take care, guys. Bye.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.